I think I'm exactly where I wanted to be like 10 months ago.
So
Like
like,
I'm literally there. Like the plan was in place. Like I worked like I started posting for 6 months in a row. I made a promise to myself and like maybe to you guys that I'd post twice a day for 6 months in a row. I did that. I started getting clients and then I saw that and I was like, okay, I quit my job.
all right, sweet. So today we have a client of mine, friend of mine, Mr. Jake Cho. That's how I said the last name, right?
CEO, it's CEO, bro.
No way, bro. Me and Joe been saying Cho the whole time. All right, my bad, my bad. Jake Co, my bad, bro.
Yeah.
Where's that from? What's the origin on that?
Italian.
Yeah, yeah. All right, respect, respect.
Yeah.
Cool, bro. Introduce yourself. Tell us everything about Mr. Co.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, Jake CEO. I'm a basketball coach right now, basketball performance specialist, mentor. I played Division I basketball at the University of San Francisco. I graduated last year, and since then, I've been able to build a brand through social media with the help of Launch Socials to now make this my full-time thing and what I'm all about. So yeah, that's what I'm at right
Oh
now.
yeah, hell yeah! And I remember when we first talked. I think it was June of July of 24. And I remember you were kind of like thinking about it and things like that. And we ended up talking, and you're like, "All right, let's get going." And I'm curious, where were you at? Like, where was your mind at when we first spoke? What was that
Yeah.
situation like? What were you thinking?
Yeah. So. I'm actually recording this for a YouTube video because it's super important. But I've always wanted to do social media. Like when I was playing, I was trying to do it, and but I was just never super consistent, and I didn't. I knew I wasn't doing it right, and I knew there was a way to do it right. And so I graduated school. I was done with my playing career pretty much officially, and I was like, I still like training. I was doing coaching when I was still playing. But at the same time, I graduated with a business degree, and so I was like, I gotta go, get a job, right? That's what I thought the route was going to be. So I took a sales job because I was like, oh, I want to learn how to sell. I was doing outbound sales with a tech company, and they flew us out for like our onboarding and welcome, and it was during that week in July. And I walked into the office that first day. And we were going through the training, and then I was sitting there. I was like, "Bro, fuck this!" Like I was like 2 hours into it, I was like, "There's no way I'm doing this. Like I gotta figure something else out." And so I kind of had the idea of going with the social media route. And then I was honestly talking with Jay. You know Jay, right? The
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
and so
Mars. Friend of
yeah,
mine at the time, now a client.
yeah. And so he was like, bro, like you got to start on social media, social media. And then I kept on seeing Launch Social stuff. Actually referred me to you. And I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it right. And I know we hopped on a call and I was like, okay, I gotta, set a where I want to go, like, 6 months, a year from now. And I feel like I've done exactly that.
And you had you tried any like content before or anything? I think you
Yeah,
like
I
started at
posted like
zero.
a couple of like TikToks and stuff, but like nothing, consistent at all.
Okay, so nothing like sort of, but not really. And the page we started with you, I believe it started at zero, like that
Brand
was
new.
fresh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, what do you think the biggest change since starting was for you? Because it's like obviously your whole life kind of changed, and not to put words in your mouth, but you weren't doing social media or making money from social media. Now you make money from social media. So obviously, like besides that change of how you make your money, what do you think the biggest thing overall was for you? You know, like what
Yeah.
changed? What was the biggest difference before and after?
In terms of like social media, I was like, wow, I like really became kind of obsessed with just trying to be authentic through it and just deliver pure value. And because when I was younger or like during college, I was kind of like iffy about social media. I hated like going on it. Like I would delete it and then re-download it, delete it again. And I was like, okay, if I'm not gonna be like creating on a platform, then I'm just consuming. And so I'm like, I don't want to do that. So the first thing was create over consume. That's something I always still think about today when I'm like catch myself freaking doom scrolling. But anyways, I think the biggest thing was like just confidence, like belief in myself, belief that I can go out there and like cook up a video that might make me X amount of money or that might help, 3 to 5 different clients with, their needs. And so I think it was just more so reinforcing what I already knew about myself is like I'm very confident in myself, but now let's target kind of like a bigger audience.
And what would you say the problem was like prior to joining that you were facing? Because you hadn't tried. growing before. It was still something new, something fresh.
Yeah.
Why didn't you dive all in on your own? Why did you dive in fully like when it came to like actually joining with us?
I mean, you guys kind of just gave me like a full blueprint on like what exactly we were gonna be targeting and like how to create that like the ICP and like the just the avatar of who I'm targeting and who I would potentially be working with in the future. So I think that was the big thing that kind of sold me on it was just because I just was a rookie, I felt like. And like how to create content that actually got views too. That was
Would you
important.
say then it's like if we had to describe it in like a couple like simple words, would that be clarity? Would it be confidence? Is there is that correct? Is there anything else you would include there?
Actually I think it was a big thing was just having someone to hold me accountable too.
Okay.
So I think to put it in your words, yes, just a clear plan that holds you accountable gave me the confidence to go out there and execute it.
Got it. And when you say the plan, because I think sometimes people don't believe us, when they maybe first want to join, they're like talking about how would you describe the plan that you were given and how we helped you through the process?
Yeah, I mean it was a clear blueprint. Like if you take these steps, if you post 2 to 3 times a day and your content looks like this, it's structured like that, and you have like an engaging hook in there. I know there's a bunch of other details that go behind it. Then you can expect to be here in 2 months or 3 months or 4 months, right? And then there's just layers to it because first for us it was about building me a brand first and build and giving and getting good at making content and trying things out. And then it was about, okay, now it's positioned to, selling off of this. And who are we targeting then? So I thought that that was just, we had like a good structure on that end.
Yeah. And that comes a different plan on like the second part of that.
Mhm.
And I just want to be clear, like when you got the plan was custom to you, right? Like
Yeah.
that shit was made for you based on what you said to us and the onboarding and everything.
Oh, 100%. I mean, yeah, it was all there.
Hell yeah. Cool. I just like to clear that up because sometimes people are like, is it actually? Is it?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Um, cool. So dude, like as a result of implementing everything, the plan, the process, etc., how would you describe the outcome that you have now? And obviously, I don't think things are ever finished. We're,
Mhm.
we're, we're here talking about how you build a team and the next step and how you got to scale and etc. But what would you say was the main result of implementing things? What was the main outcome? Where you at? Maybe we go over some numbers, all of that.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that the first and foremost thing, I think I'm exactly where I wanted to be like 10 months ago. Like
Fucking
I'm
sick.
literally there. Like the plan was in place. Like I started posting for 6 months in a row. I made a promise to myself and like maybe to you guys that I'd post twice a day for 6 months in a row. I did that. I started getting clients and then I saw that and I was like, okay, I quit my job. That was the next step for me. Like I wanted to free up all that space. And I was spending more time editing my content when I was still working the job anyways. But that was a big step, replace that income, and just build that confidence again. And then from there, it was about, okay, now it's about turning it into like a real legitimate business. And I felt like I've been able to do that now where I've, been able to generate, 5 months in a row consistently at 10K a month. And so now to me, that reinforces like, okay, we have something here now, and I'm exactly where I want it to be. And so
Hell
I
yeah.
think that's the biggest thing.
That's super cool to hear. Like I didn't know it was that specific of like exactly what you wanted. So one, I don't think I've told you, but congrats. That's sick.
Mhm.
And
Appreciate it.
glad I could help you get there, man. It's super sick.
Yeah.
And you said so you're at what? You're almost at 30K followers, I think. You're like
Yeah,
29.
I'm at 29 and a half now, so
Okay.
getting to
That's
30.
cool. And then
Yeah.
in terms of income, it was like 10 to 15 a month, we said, right?
Yeah.
Roughly. Cool.
Yeah.
Time to scale. Sick.
Sure.
Um, where do you think you'd be right now if you didn't work with us?
Shoot, I don't even want to think about it. Um, I'd say if I wasn't with you guys, I mean, I might have just been spent so much more time like trying to figure it out on my own. And like, would I have even done it like by myself? I don't know, right? Would I have been as committed to posting twice a day? Like, right? I think the biggest reason why I wanted to do this is like I was investing into like, development and coaching and all that and mentorship. So if I'm putting my money where my mouth is, then I got to back it up with my actions.
Mm,
And so I thought that was probably an important thing for myself.
hell yeah. And what was the best part about the process? And what's one thing you would change about the process?
Best part of the process is just kind of, I think it's just seeing how you improve over time. Like I go and look back at some of my earlier videos and I'm like, what the heck? Why did I even post this? But you figure it out, as you go, you get better at it. And so I just seeing the growth with that, being able to become even just a more effective like storyteller or just even better on camera and communicating with people, becoming a better leader. I take those principles as like the best things about the process for me. And then learning a lot of different aspects of business too. Like I felt like I've learned more in these past 10 months, like working with you guys and then working on my own than I did in 4 years getting a business degree
Oh
from
yeah.
a pretty good school that costs a lot of money to go to.
What school you say?
University of San Francisco.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. College, bro. I don't
I know
even want to
you,
talk about it. I
yeah.
don't want to talk about it. But I dropped
Yeah.
out after 2 months. That's super interesting. Like the fact that you even said that this is worth more than a business degree of 4 years is crazy. But also I don't find it's like I'm not surprised by it either at the same
Yeah.
time. Um, Dude, let's wrap it up. Like what's coming for you in the future? What's next for you in the brand?
Mhm.
How do you feel about everything and where you're at and like where you're going? What's the next step?
Yeah, so first off, like I'm exactly where I want it to be. Like, last summer talking about it. But now it's more so about like turning this into like a real business that can not just like run on its own, because I'm always going to be involved, obviously, but getting a coach or two onto my staff, like working with some of the better trainers in the country, working with some of the better players in the country too, and becoming just a better like leader and coach myself. Like this morning, I was working with a professional basketball player. And I think also a big thing with this is the amount of opportunities it's given me in the basketball space in general, just by having a personal brand. Like I've gotten multiple job offers to go be a player development coach. I got multiple offers, like I told you, to come in and be a premier trainer at a gym,
Yeah.
right? But for me, the biggest thing is continuing to grow what I've built with, train with JC, the page and the brand, and continue to scale upwards of, 50, 100K a month. But I guess the money, sure we have those goals, but I'm more so about what's the word? Just building out better systems and creating just a well-structured like oil machine.
Hell yeah. Sick, bro. And you would say that this so far, and obviously, I mean, so far you got to where you want to be, but would you say it's probably the perfect foundation to scale? Like I
Yeah.
would look at it that way, but I'm curious how you view it.
Like for scaling for me, like in terms of the next steps.
Like you have the perfect foundation to go get those connections, which you've already gotten. You have the
Mhm.
perfect foundation to go and say, oh, this is a business I can now turn into 50, 100, 500 a month if I really wanted to. Would you say that's
Yeah.
accurate?
100%. Yeah, without doubt.
Hell yeah, dude. Cool. Anything you want to leave us with? Anything you want to thoughts for anyone watching it that might be thinking about being a client of ours or
Yeah.
there would be anything you want to leave?
Yeah, I've actually had people hit me up. Like someone actually just messaged me the other day. I was gonna send you the screenshot of like, hey, I'm thinking about working with Launch Socials,
Oh,
right?
really?
Yeah. And so what I would say to anybody who wants to work with like Launch Socials is like they are gonna give you everything that they say they're gonna give you. Like they're gonna give you the blueprint. They're gonna show you how to create, viral content within your niche that's gonna go well. But you have to go out there and actually do it and show up to like, the weekly meetings to get consistent feedback and to continue evolving and change the game. I think some of the best people in this, in this just the Launch Social community are the people who are always on those calls. And then I look at guys like Rami, for example, like he's killing it, obviously. He's one of the bigger pages, I think. But he's, always in there trying to get coaching and, working on little tweaks that can improve his content, his hooks. So I think that just there's so many layers to this.
Of course.
And that's what I like most about it.
Hell yeah. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. And thank you for being here. If you guys want to check out his pages, if you guys want to check out Jake's pages, his link's going to be below in the description. If you want any of our resources, anything like that, the links are below. Jake, appreciate you being here, bro.
Appreciate you today.
Thanks, man.